beyond both cut and not cut, so that it is completely open and break through, shine out completely, going beyond both mine and not mine, cut and not cut. Just go on in a way that you're not grasping both grasping and not grasping, so that it is a liberation, a release. Just released from the released, truly go on in a way that not grasping both grasping and not grasping, beyond both mine and not mine, cut and not cut. Not grasping both grasping and not grasping, that is a true release. That release from the release itself, and it will be having no limit. From not grasping both grasping and not grasping, that's the basic, the foundation. It will not create any samsara, any realm of existence. It is the original truth, the true essence of all things. That's why it will not create any samsara. Just open up. You don't need to try to listen through the device. Everything. Help one another so that we all can shine out. You can't just be bright and shine on your own. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, everything, as always, whatever it is, form, formless, Dhamma, any element, from not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, all the same. Beyond both mine and not mine, beyond relate and not relate. Go on, so that it has no limits, extinguishing and emptying. The brightness doesn't just stay here. When you go beyond both mine and not mine, the light will shine out without limit. Make this conclusion, be careful, don't be distorted, so we all can help one another to end. It isn't about creating new beginning and ending, but it is to empty out beginning and ending together. In the future, we can only use the essence, the power, without having to say anything. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. As always, everything, so that it completely released the release. And now go on beyond mine and not mine, relate and not relate, empty out, extinguish. Keep on. Let the essence and the language be the same thing. And the mind won't be about grasping. Any mind state wouldn't be about holding on, grasping on, automatically. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, with everything. Then the thought and the essence within you are the same thing. Let it be that way. Beyond both cut and not cut, that becomes the power of blessing, of extinction. It has the force to empty out the samsara, Empty out, extinguish without a trace. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, all, everything the same. That is the essence. It has the force, the power within itself, together with the great compassion. It is the power, the force to empty out and extinguish. Every time you think of the sentence, it has the power, the force. Every time you think of the sentence, the reminder, it has the force, the power. Go on in the way that you're not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, together with everything. Everything's the same. It will help clear out both attached, not attached. The renounced and not renounced will be cleared out as well. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, all together with everything. It will end both renounced, not renounced, attached and not attached. That is the absolute extinction. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. If everything is the same with this essence, it will be absolute extinction. There wouldn't be any renounced or not renounced, attached or not attached, liberated, not liberated. All and everything will be gone. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping is the end of the delusion of the practice of all paths. That is the end of path of both noble ones and non-noble ones. When all and everything from not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, that is the end of practice, the path of all noble ones and non-noble ones. Absolute extinction. Cut, both cut and not cut, together with everything. And that everything extinguished together, empty together. It isn't anything about beginning or ending. Cut, both cut and not cut together. That is it. It will help dissolve any beginning, ending. It will help end any beginning, ending. All the same, everything. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, that is it. There is no need to try to begin or end anything anymore. Beginning and ending, that is a new samsara, another samsara. From cutting itself, from not grasping, the non-grasping itself together. That is it. All is done. No need to always begin and end. From the cutting itself, all the same. From not grasping, the non-grasping itself together. Everything. You come to an end together. In the ending, stop the stopping together. No misleading. No misleading to practice and create any samsara. Try to become anything. If you cut, both cut and not cut, it won't be about any beginning or ending automatically. That is the original truth of all things. It isn't about beginning or ending, arising or ceasing of anything. It isn't about attached, not attached, renounce or not renounce anything. It isn't about trying to be liberated or not liberated from anything. That is the original truth that is empty. From cut, the cutting itself, that is the end of the ending. Stop the stopping altogether. If it is from not grasping, both grasping and not grasping together with everything, it won't be another samsara. No more samsara of contemplation, of practice. It won't be another samsara. If everything is from not grasping, both grasping and not grasping together, there is no one to begin, to end, to be liberated, not liberated. It's the sentence, one sentence that ends in itself, that enlightens in itself. Listen carefully and use this as reminders. Every time you remind yourself with one of these sentences, it is the ending right there. Every time you remind yourself, every time it ends and ends for everything, for one another, together. So don't be obsessed. It's not about being obsessed in seeking. What should be the way? What should be the path? Which way is the best? Which methods is the best? That is the desire to seek, to search. Samsara right there. That is the samsara. All about samsara. Seeking, searching, both worldly and spiritual, worldly and Dhamma. No difference. Those are all the desire that created the path, the desire, the one who practiced. A separation between Dhamma and worldly happened because of the desire. The desire separates these concepts from not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. It isn't either Dhamma or worldly. You suffer because you have this division, this separation of ideas, the difference between the worldly and Dhamma. You are misled by the desire. Believe what the desire creates. If there is no desire, there is no worldly or Dhamma. It isn't, either is or is not, if there is no desire. If you still want to have Dhamma and worldly separated, it means that you are misled. Look at all the things in nature, the tree, grass, stone, sand. They don't have to separate worldly or spiritual. So that concept, the concept of Dhamma or worldly, it is what the desire made. It is what the desire creates, these ideas, these concepts, the separation of worldly Dhamma. From cut, the cutting itself together with everything so that it will end, the one who begin and end. It will end the ending. From cut, the cutting itself together, from not grasping, the non-grasping itself together, it will help end the one who begin and end. And it isn't either Dhamma or worldly. That is it. All is done. You still fixate on worldly or Dhamma. You are a freak, an alien in both worldly and Dhamma. if you still identify, still having something to do with either worldly or Dhamma. Because you are deluded. You are deluded in this concept, having this concept of worldly and Dhamma. That's not the truth. You believe this and you keep on misleading one another, deceiving one another, teaching about worldly and Dhamma. So all the education, the institutions that teach one another, actually you're not teaching one another the right thing, but misleading one another through education. It's not the ending. Even when you graduate or you finish the education, it's not the true ending. During the Buddha's time, whoever listened directly in front of the Buddha, even when they are 7 or 8 years old, they can come to the ending right there without having to go to school or learn anything. In the past, during the Buddha's time, only 7 or 8 years old, they can come to an end and enlightened. They don't need to learn. They don't need to educate either worldly or Dhamma, because it is about not grasping, even the non-grasping itself. So once whoever realized the essence of not grasping, the non-grasping itself, they can come to an end, they can enlighten without having to go to school. All this Dhamma that are taught these days, not the truth, only about misleading one another and compete with one another to be good at what you are learning, you are educating. But even when you died, after you died, you really haven't come to an end yet. Your being, your spirits, your mind still struggle, still suffer. Whatever realm of existence you end up in, you still have desire. You still misled by desire. You still suffer and struggle. Because what you learned and thought that is the truth, actually it is not the truth. It isn't the end of the ending. It's only going forward, going further and further away from the truth. So cut the cutting itself, that is to end the ending itself, from not attached, the non-attachment itself, that means to end the ending, to stop the stopping. From not grasping the non-grasping itself, that is how you end the ending, how you end the samsara, not creating any samsara yourself. Later on, after the Buddha's time, what they are teaching and think that this is Dhamma, actually it is not Dhamma, not the truth, not the truth. It's about greed, about grasping. From not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, let all and everything have this essence, and it won't be either noble or non-noble. There wouldn't be either noble ones or non-noble ones. If you are still noble ones, still identify yourself as noble ones, you're still misled by desire. Because you are still trying to renounce, not renounce, liberated, not liberated. You are still manipulated by desire. There is still a samsara, even for noble ones. It is still a samsara, even though it is a light and very thin, very refined samsara, but it is still a samsara for noble ones. The noble ones are still misled, still manipulated by desire, to renounce, not renounce, trying to be liberated, not liberated, from not grasping even the non-grasping itself. Don't obsess and fixate on grasping and not grasping anything. Don't fixate on taking the not grasping to grasp and not grasp. From cut, the cutting itself. Let it be that way. Not just take cut and try to cut this thing and that thing. That is how you end the ending. End both cut and not cut. In the past, during the Buddha's time, only through listening directly from the Buddha, the listeners can come to an end, in the ending, right there, without learning, without having to practice, to try. Only to listen and end accordingly. It isn't about to listen and try to hold on, to grasp on, to gain knowledge, like these days. The Maha, the monks who have high education in Dhamma, these days, they are not arahants, but they are full of knowledge of Dhamma. On the Maha, who has the highest level of education in Dhamma, has to come to an end and have great compassion instead, not to go on and teach others using the deluded knowledge to teach others and mislead others on and on. This scholar, the Buddhist scholars that have this highest education should come to great compassion and blessed, provide the end of the ending to others instead of teaching others to have more delusion in Dhamma. The highest of education truly is how you can provide the ending, help one another to come to the end. Just go on and cut. If you don't cut, it won't come to the ending. Everything cut, the cutting itself. It isn't about cut anything. Not grasping means not grasping the not grasping itself. It isn't about not grasping anything. Everything is from renounce, the renouncing itself. It isn't about renounce anything. And that will be a true ending. Ending of both renounce and not renounce. That is the true renouncing. If you cut the cutting itself with everything, that is the true ending. It will end both cut and not cut. It isn't about to cut your mind or your body. Open up everything from cutting. The cutting itself. That is how you end together with everything. It isn't about for self. Doing something for self, it means that you are selfish. You are greedy. From cut the cutting, from not grasping the non-grasping itself. Everything that is for everything, for others, not for yourself. If you are trying to gain something for yourself from Dhamma, it means that you assume Dhamma, trying to attain something, to gain something from Dhamma. That's why you are freaks in both worldly and Dhamma. If you keep on focusing on Dhamma and worldly, having this separation, and focusing. You are animals, worldly animals. You are freaks. So not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. From cut, both cut and not cut. That is the ending. And you won't be either noble ones or non-noble ones. You won't be either worldly animals or Dharma animals. The Tipitaka, you have to make the right conclusion. Make a conclusion in a way that there is nothing left. If you make a conclusion and there is still one sentence that you hold on to, that is still wrong. You can take that one sentence and create a samsara out of it. So it's the right conclusion. The way you have to make the conclusion from the Tipitaka, the Buddhist scripture, it means that you have to make a conclusion in a way that there is nothing left, not even one sentence. If you still take one sentence out of the scripture, you can create a samsara of Dhamma. So you have to make a conclusion in a right way from this scripture. Conclude the whole scripture in a way that there is nothing else, nothing left. It is not a true conclusion if there is still anything left. There's nothing left, even the nothing is solved. Make the right conclusion about the Buddhist scripture, the Tipitaka. Not grasping even the non-grasping itself. So it means that even not grasping is not left behind, because you're not grasping even the non-grasping itself. So there is not even the not grasping left.